Have you ever noticed how, when you're reading the news, it all kind of feels the same? Whether it's a story about politics or a fender bender down the street, there's this hidden formula that almost every story follows. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the secret blueprint behind the news.
Yep, from the newspaper you grab with your morning coffee to the news app on your phone, the way these stories are built isn't some happy accident. It's a very specific design, and it's all about delivering information as fast and efficiently as possible. And trust me, once you see this formula, you will never be able to unsee it. So, you ready to see it? Let's break down the blueprint that shapes pretty much every single news story you read. It's like learning to see the code behind the matrix of the news. So this blueprint, it actually has an official name. It's called the News Item Text. I know, it sounds a little academic, but it's actually a super powerful and surprisingly simple framework that journalists all over the world use every day. The whole idea here is pretty simple, really. Get straight to what's newsworthy and important. The goal is to give you the most critical information right away. No fluff, no messing around, just the key facts served up in a logical, predictable way. So, how does this news writing machine actually work? Let's pop the hood and break down the anatomy of a typical article, piece by piece. Okay, it all boils down to just 3 core ingredients. That's it. First, you've got the newsworthy event. That's the big thing that just happened. Second is the background. That's the context, the how, and the why. And finally, you have the source. These are the quotes that tell you who's talking and add credibility. That's the entire secret sauce. Now, theory is one thing, but seeing this in the wild is where it really starts to click. So let's take an actual news report and see just how perfectly it fits into this 3-part structure. All right, here's our case study. Now, it's a pretty tragic story, but it is a textbook example of this news item text formula in action. Let's dissect it. And boom, right there. That's our first ingredient, the newsworthy event. This is your headline, your lead sentence. It answers all the urgent questions in one go. Who, what, where, when. You could literally read nothing else and still know the core of what happened. It's the whole story in a nutshell. Next up, ingredient number 2, the background. This is where the story gets its color. It fleshes things out by answering the how and the why. So in this case, we learn how the police think this terrible collision happened. This is what gives the story its depth. And finally, our third ingredient, the source. Now, this part is absolutely critical. This is the eyewitness account, the official statement. It's the evidence. It answers the question, says who? Here, we hear directly from the truck driver, which tells us exactly where that piece of information is coming from. Okay, so we've got the structure locked down, but it's not just what journalists say, it's also how they say it. They have a whole linguistic toolkit they use to make stories feel punchy, credible, and fast. One of their biggest tools is the choice between direct and indirect speech. Think of it this way. Direct speech, with the quotation marks, is like hitting play on a recording of what someone said. It adds authenticity. Indirect speech is more like a summary. It keeps the story flowing smoothly. Journalists are constantly switching between these two to control the pace and feel of a story. And that's not all that's in the toolkit. News is all about what's happening, so writers use strong action verbs like hit, killed, or struck. They use simple, neutral saying verbs like said or told to make it really clear who is speaking. And they use adverbs to quickly give us crucial details about time, place, and manner. Think back to last night in our example. Every single word is chosen for clarity and speed. So, now you have the blueprint. And this isn't just some fun trivia. Honestly, this is like getting a new superpower for how you navigate the world of information. So, why does all this matter? Well, because when you understand the structure, you can process information so much faster. You can instantly pick out the main point, find the extra context, and, this is the most important part, you can immediately check who is being quoted. It turns you from a passive reader into an active, critical thinker. So here is your takeaway. Your mission should you choose to accept it. The next time you open a news article, try this. Look for those 3 ingredients, the main event, the background context, and always check the sources. I promise, it will completely change the way you read the news. This formula is literally everywhere once you start looking for it. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you have the blueprint, what story are you going to deconstruct first?